Let me see if I can put some image in. Like it would be
Okay,
nice.
I will.
What's this?
Hey everybody, welcome back to Ginew Talk. You guys are probably wondering why we're having an earlier stream. Yeah, so the reason is because my actual co-host that's joining me today, we're in the actual same time zone. We're both in Europe, so which obviously is a bit convenient for us to both do it a little bit early. So that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
before we
very
get in,
convenient, must say.
huh?
Very convenient.
Very, very convenient. But yeah, no, before we get into the good stuff of Dragon Ball, I obviously want to introduce our first time appearance for DB scaling. Say what's up.
Hey, so I'm an Italian power scaler. Just to introduce me a little bit, and I follow Dragon Ball power scaling from like 7 years now. So I'm quite experienced, but there's always something to get better at. I mean,
No, I like that. I mean, do you know what? It's literally the fact is that you're probably the first Dragon Ball scaler I know. Um, I've seen so many videos of like different people trying to scale it, and some of their scalings are a little bit, some people just say random numbers for no reason, but like,
well,
yeah,
it's a bit different between power scaling and power levels because power levels are kind of trash if you go uh, beyond a certain point in the story, because
yeah,
you can literally talk to 10 people and they will all give you different numbers basically. So there's no coherence between that. What matters is the scaling. So why do you give a certain character that number? The reason behind the number is what matters, not the number
yeah.
itself.
No, I totally agree. Like I said, it's one of those things in Dragon Ball or within the community where it's gotten a bit toxic. Yes,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
people will scale things differently, and people don't always give each other the information to say why, but it's always automatically no,
Yeah,
you're wrong, this that, and then it just becomes like a big fat argument instead
yeah.
of actually creating
People
the
are very
information to
toxic in
kind of
this
get to the
ambient.
accurate information.
Yeah. This is a pretty toxic topic because everyone thinks that they're right, basically.
Yeah. Wow, I mean, no one's gonna think they're wrong.
Well,
So no,
yeah.
no, so
But
that's
like,
so
if
that's
I
good.
see something I did years ago, I will
Mhm.
now say, yeah, it's fucking terribly wrong. But it's normal because you get better at it the more you do it. So,
that is literally the only thing we can do. You can only get better by doing it.
yeah.
So that's super cool. But yeah, no, like diving into the open mic where we just talk Dragon Ball, where we just cover a few different things. I mean, this open mic session, myself and DB just wanted to touch up on a few different things that mostly persist and pertain to Gohan, on on potentially where he can go, as well as potentially kind of understanding where he is in terms of the overall ranking of the power of the strongest people in Dragon Ball. So I thought this would have been a perfect episode to bring in DB scaling, because DB scaling has that experience in kind of understanding the scaling of the powers between the characters. So whereas we'll ask the questions of trying to find out where Beast Gohan is in terms of his power, comparing it to Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego, Goku Black, Granola, Gas, and Broly. What I want to say is myself and DB Scaling are not going to say Gohan is the be all end all, he's stronger than this or he's stronger than that. Our discussion is to try and kind of get that insight from more, for myself at least, to kind of get that insight from an experienced scaler to see where potentially, depending on what Toyotaro and Toriyama want to do with the story, to kind of have an understanding of where Gohan may potentially end up in terms of that powering. But before we get into the actual ranking itself, I kind of just wanted to. I've spoken to many different people on the stream, so I'm not sure if you've watched any of them, but we've all got different perspectives and different reviews of the latest chapter itself. So I kind of wanted to
Yeah.
get your idea. What did you think about the previous chapter that's just come out?
Well, I liked it because seeing some Gohan action, some Goten and Trunks action. Goten and Trunks was rather unexpected, I guess, because
Mm-hmm.
literally no one was expecting them to do anything in this chapter. I mean, I at least expected it to be like 40, 50 pages of Gohan versus Goku,
Yeah, yeah.
basically.
I
But
think that's
yeah,
what we were all
it's nice
thinking.
to see Goten and Trunks do something.
Yeah, but even then, did you see? I'm in the environment or the group that, like, did I was when they started to initiate the fusion, I thought, because the situation was quite serious. This is in front of Beerus, this is in front of Whis, Broly's there, Goku's there, Vegeta's there. There was no jokes or some stupid stuff happening. I genuinely was convinced that they were gonna fuse into proper Gotenks. So I was quite disappointed when Fat Gotenks appeared. Was that the same for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a good comedy relief for like one time, but if you continue to do it uh, like every fucking time, it's not worth it. I mean, it's not laughable anymore.
Yeah. And I think that's where I've been standing, where we saw it in Z when they were fighting Boo, where they were training. That was fine. We saw it a couple of other times, and then we saw it in the superhero movie, where we're like, okay, ha ha ha, it's funny. But this chapter, I just thought,
Yeah, too
because of
much.
how serious it was, it just didn't make sense to have Fat Gotenks involved.
Absolutely, that was too much.
Yeah. But do you, in your opinion, what do you think the reason why we're not seeing proper Gotenks, teen Gotenks? Like, what do you think the reason maybe Toyotaro and Toriyama are not
I
letting us
mean,
see
maybe
it?
just Toyotaro is using them maybe more Gotenks than Goten and Trunks separately as a comedic relief. Maybe.
Mm,
That's the
right.
only way I can see it because I mean, come on, you can't always do fat gotenks.
But then, like, you see, because this wasn't part of the topics, but from your experience, like, and I think I've had this conversation on the previous stream as well, like, and I kind of want to see where you stand and what you think. Gotenks, because I said the problem I have with Goten and Trunks and Gotenks, even if he fuses, is that Goten and Trunks cannot transform anything more than Super Saiyan. They can't even go to Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah,
It's never been shown that they can do it, but based on the information we have, Goten and Trunks cannot reach Super Saiyan 2. So then that means that whatever fusion they do, the max power that Gotenks can reach is Super Saiyan 3 like he did
Yeah,
before.
they're locked to that.
Hmm?
They're locked to that.
Yeah. So do you agree with that? Like the maximum power
Yeah,
level
yeah,
that they can hit
absolutely.
is
I
Super
mean,
Saiyan 3.
if they don't do any ritual for unlocking their power like Gohan or Piccolo, but
Mm.
I mean, I don't think they will. So
No, I don't think they will. And I think it's really really unfair because based on the like again, this is always based on the information, but based on the information and understanding of the lore of Dragon Ball, Goten and Trunks have the same potential as Gohan has as being a half Saiyan, half human.
yeah, they should
But
even have
yet,
more.
huh?
They should even have more potential than Gohan.
Do they not? You don't think? Wait, I'm not saying they. I'm not saying they. They. I'm just saying like they have the same potential in terms of while Gohan is a little bit more different, but they have the same environment. They're both half Saiyan,
Yeah,
half human, and
absolutely.
they've always said like half Saiyans and half humans are supposed to be or theoretically much stronger than or much will have more potential than full Saiyans. But
Yeah,
yet
yeah.
when we look at Goten and Trunks, it's like their potential is just suffocated. There's nothing there. All we see them do is running around doing nothing. Like
I mean, they're more humans than science. They're like Gohan.
well, to be fair, maybe I think maybe this is it's a consequence of like because Gohan was just shoved into the fight. He had to fight his
Yeah, he had,
uncle that wanted to kidnap him in Raditz. He went to Namek. He fought Raccoon, who broke his neck. He his dad threw him into fight Cell, and then and then in Boo Saga he had to train with the Kais. So you see Gohan's always been suffering. Gohan has been suffering since he was a child. He's been suffering.
yeah,
So and I think maybe you're right because Goten and Trunks have never had to suffer that much. Maybe that's just
yeah, they're
probably
more
why they
naturalized humans. Let's say
yeah
they always
but
had a fine life, like
yeah
not needing to fight apart from the Busaga. But I mean, they were very young. They took that much more like a game.
hmm and I think hopefully well, the optimism is we can only hope that things will change, but they won't. But yeah, just moving away past Goten and Trunks, and now we get into we saw the like the sparring match is not complete. Goku and Gohan have not finished their match, but from what you've seen so far based on that chapter, like what do you think like the meaning could be for if Goku wins the sparring match or if wins the sparring match? What do you think could mean for the character going forward in the story?
Going forward, I mean, Gon is always a good ally to fight against Black Treason for now.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are like even MU higher but lower, is it's a lot objectively.
Yeah.
So you can definitely do something against Frieza.
Mm-hmm. And then, but then, do you? Okay, so before we even finish, before we get chapter 103 and 104, in your mind, how do you think the sparring match is going to end? Because like I think ultimately, like my personal opinion is I think that this has to end in a draw. You cannot show whether it's true or false. Maybe Ultra Instinct is stronger than Beast, or maybe Beast is stronger than Ultra Instinct. We don't know. But you cannot, in this sparring match, you cannot show us one being stronger. You need to show us, we need to have something that shows them as a draw, or we have Beerus interrupted because he's just angry that they're destroying their planet. Because Gohan Gohan has, with the beast form, he's taken a big jump in terms of power.
Yeah,
So it
absolutely.
doesn't make sense to then do something that makes it seem less, maybe show us like a draw, so then in our minds we can continuously keep thinking, oh, how strong is beast? Could he have won? Because then that gives the beast form more fire for people to think that it's actually, that it can actually be important. I don't know, do
Yeah,
you agree, or do you want to, is there
yeah,
anything you
it
want to add?
would give it more room to people online to talk about it.
Mm.
But I honestly think that Goku might win because, let's face it, Toyotaro is a big Goku fan, and I don't see him making Goku lose.
Well, I'm not saying he's gonna lose, but because I don't want, like,
No, yeah, yeah,
I
I
want,
got it, I got it.
yeah,
But
because do you remember in
giving
Super
the various
when,
option,
yeah,
Goku losing is the most unlikely.
no, it's unlikely. Gohan is more likely to lose than Goku is, and I think what we need here is, because in Super, when they were training, before the Tournament of Power, there was the sparring match between Goku Blue and Gohan Mystic Form, and I
Yeah,
can understand, because the power difference between Blue and Mystic, it kind of, it wouldn't have made sense for it to end in a draw, or for Gohan to win, but because Beast is such a new form and has so much potential, I think you can not make it win, but I think you can protect Beast in this sparring match. And I think they
yeah,
need to
absolutely,
protect
absolutely.
Beast in this sparring match.
Regardless of who wins, I still think they're in the same level of power, more or less. Like,
Really?
yeah, I don't see any problem with it. I mean, for now, they seem even.
Okay. And then now you've just taken me into one of the topics that we actually had. Has Gohan closed the gap between Black Frieza, Goku, and Vegeta? Like, and by how much? How much? If you think yes, how much? Because I think you're better. You're much better to explain that scaling than me, because to me, I'm not sure yet. If he has closed it, but I'm sure, with your experience in the scaling, you've probably got a better idea if he has. So, like, educate me. Tell me.
I mean, for what I think, Black Frieza is on another level, like, because he was compared to almost an Akaishin, so
Hmm.
he's stronger than Goku, than Gohan, than everyone for now. I
Yeah.
only can see Goku being in a similar level of power with his avatar MUI form,
Hmm.
because that is a broken thing. Let's face it. But normal MUI or Vegeta or Gohan are below Frieza. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But then what about, because I think every time we mention Beast Gohan, there is always people just say, well, Toriyama said Gohan is the strongest in the universe. You
Uh,
know,
and I mean, he didn't really, because he implied that Broly is stronger in always in the same pieces of interviews for the movie.
mhm,
Like, he was saying, "Oh yeah, if Cell was complete, no, not even Broly would beat him." So that implies that Broly is stronger than Gohan, basically.
yeah,
Because if he isn't, why don't use Gohan as a comparison? I mean, why Broly if he's not the stronger?
yeah. And I think this is where, the fans kind of get confused, where, like, yeah, like, when these things happen, or like, when you think about it, most of the time when Toriyama said this stuff, in my opinion, there's something happening, a movie, a series, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
never going.
obviously.
Yeah.
Many things as like hype statements for the movie. So
Yeah, because he's never gonna tell anybody the true thing, because he knows, once he says, if he says, oh, Gohan's the strongest in the universe, you've got a situation where I think back in the day, there was always these rumors that Dragon Ball Z was supposed to end, like Gohan was supposed to take over. Um, it was supposed to take over after the Cell Saga, but then he never did because people just didn't like the idea of Goku not being there anymore, and then the story changed. So the idea of people thinking he's ever gonna say Gohan is the strongest in the universe, I don't see that happening.
I mean, he already been once, so it's fine during the Cell
Mm.
Saga.
Yeah, that was the only time that was like the only time where Gohan was. But wow, was he really? Because I'm
Yeah,
still
I mean,
convinced. Do you do if before Goku gave Cell the Senzu Bean and all of this stuff, and do you? I mean, it's hard for me to believe that when Gohan achieved Super Saiyan 2 before his dad. I think Goku could have done it. I knew in my mind when I look at that Cell Saga, I think Goku could have turned Super Saiyan 2, but the idea was this was not supposed to be his fight. This was him letting his child do the work. But I'm sure Goku could have turned Super Saiyan 2 because
I don't really know, but the whole
no,
topic with the
wait,
Cell was
wait,
like,
because I think because like here like maybe I'm wrong. So like I'll just say this and then you let me know because I think where the problem was Vegeta got Super Saiyan and then he got into the hyperbolic time chamber. And then the Ascended Saiyan, which was the middle between Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2, that was the one with the big muscles.
mhm.
Yeah. And I think what Vegeta did was that he just saw the big power and got the big muscles and he was happy with it because when you think back to when Goku was in the hyperbolic time chamber with Gohan, there was a moment where Goku went to the next level after Super Saiyan, but that
Yeah, yeah.
level was the one with the big muscles. And then Gohan said, "Oh, you've gone past the Super Saiyan." And then Goku said, "Yeah, but look at these big muscles." So that's when I feel like he ended up doing more training to go beyond that level, which I think he then was able to go Super Saiyan 2, but he
The
just
point
didn't
is
want to do it
going,
against Cell.
if I can, the point is going beyond that particular level is a full power Super Saiyan, so grade 4 Super Saiyan.
Mm.
And no, that's not quite Super Saiyan 2. I mean, he went beyond that level
Yeah.
with the grade 4. So, no, not really Super Saiyan 2. I mean, not even Gon was called Super Saiyan 2 until Busaga. I mean,
Yeah.
that was just going to be grade 5 Super Saiyan.
And that, and it's interesting. It's just the whole thing is just interesting because now like um because when we turn back, like just coming back to it all, um the question here is like while Gohan this new form, um how would you compare it between um the previous strongest in the universe, Gas and Granola? Because when what people forget, or maybe, is that Goku and Vegeta were not the one that beat Gas. It was
Yeah,
Black Frieza, right? So meaning that Goku and Vegeta were not strong enough to beat Gas, right? And
yeah,
now
absolutely.
Gohan has now reached this new power. It's very subjective. If Goku and Vegeta couldn't beat Gas as Instinct and Ultra Ego, would Gohan have been able to beat Gas with Beast?
No, I don't think so.
This is where your scaling becomes very crucial now.
Yeah, I guess I know. Well, I don't think so because really, literally, Goku needed the avatar form of MUI to like grab gas and throw him away. So,
Mm,
like I said before, that is a very broken thing, very much stronger than standard MUI. So,
yeah.
Basically, no. Even if Gohan is MUI tier, no way he's going to say anything to Gas.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. So what you're saying is in the current scaling, it's Black Frieza. So wait, if he couldn't then beat Gas, but then Goku and Vegeta really didn't beat Granola, would we then say in the scaling it's Frieza Black, Gas, Granola, and then that level of Ultra Instinct Goku, Ultra Ego Vegeta, Beast Gohan?
I mean, pick Granola when he charged the blast to eat gas. It's like Avatar tier for the MUI, but it's just a peak moment. It's not his power in every moment. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a bit different. I tend to see Granola more akin to Ultra Ego or Ultra Instinct Omen.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, true Ultra Instinct Tire or Ultra Ego.
Hmm. Which is which is interesting now because but then this is where it gets listen, there's so many questions because
Yeah, go on, go on.
no, because it's like is bro sorry, so in your scaling is Broly, so Broly's below Beast or he's on level with Beast?
Well, literally, I just think Broly is stronger than anyone at this point. If we are
Right,
to
so
take
but
a
yeah.
peak Broly, legendary Broly from now, it's just stronger. I mean, already in the movie was maybe stronger than Beerus. So yeah, I mean, it's at least at that
Do-
level even now.
so wait, do you wait, you don't think he was stronger than Beerus, do you?
I mean, in the movie it was said that he maybe was. So I just keep it that for good. So let's say he's at least at that level. Obviously, legendary Broly, not base Broly or Super Saiyan Broly, but yeah, peak Broly is definitely at least at on that level for me, at least.
Interesting. I think you're the first person to say that because I don't know if I would say Broly because I thought I don't think even legendary Broly. I don't know if I would say he's close to Beerus. I don't know about that.
I mean, Broly is often overlooked because new sagas and everyone seems to think that you have to be stronger than previous characters, but
Yeah.
like Broly is continuously pushed by novel, by the authors and whatnot to be so strong.
Hmm.
So it's like, oh god, what did I do? Okay, nothing, fine. Yeah, so, some box fell off, but it's fine.
No, no,
So
it's okay.
basically,
It's okay.
it's like an editorial line to have Broly stronger than anyone for me, because like Toyotaro said it 2 times, or anyways, like in an interview for the volume 16 of the manga, I said that Broly was someone that Goku and Vegeta still had to surpass, and that was
Yeah.
after Moro arc. So you can count it if you want. Then he said
Yeah.
another time in another interview that he was the strongest, and even
True.
in the novel for superhero, they say that no Broly is second to no one.
Yeah. No, I think one sec. I think because one of my good friends, he's in the stream. He was just saying, "What's up, Trap?" The question here is, from what DB Scaling is saying, is that he heard that peak peak legendary Super Saiyan Broly was almost on par, or if not stronger than Beerus. Would you agree with this question?
I mean, they said it in the movie, so
Wow. Wow, in the movie, wow. Yeah. But that could be taken with a bit of salt, you know. that could be taken with a bit of salt. That wait, so wait, who said that in the movie? Oh, but then the thing is, you kind of did you. But this is where it gets really interesting, though, because
Yeah, I mean Goku said it.
but then this is where it gets really really interesting because you watched it. Did you watch it in its Italian dub?
N- No, I watched it in Japanese sub and everything, but
I'll need to find, but 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 even if he said
they just
he's
say it everywhere. If the
well, but then this
dialogue like that,
but then even with that, like, you know, if Goku said, "Oh yeah, he's strong, almost as strong as Beerus," like Goku doesn't know this, so we can't really take Goku's
I
words. We
mean,
can't.
in the manga, he kinda saw Beerus fight against the other god of destruction. So
I think all we just had is just like, I don't care who says it's not true. So
I
which is
mean,
really interesting, which is obviously very
obviously, okay,
no.
obviously for how the manga industry works these days, they always make such statements with some doubt. They're not saying A is stronger than B. Point. Period.
Yeah,
They're always like say, oh, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Who knows? To make people discuss it online because it works
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
To have a bigger resonance for the series,
Hmm.
for the series and everything. Because if you just give precise data about who's stronger, no one's gonna discuss that. I mean, your series is not gonna be talked about as much.
Sure, sure. But now the question for you, DB Scaling, is: do you think Broly's on the same level as Beerus or stronger than Beerus?
At least at the same level, it's fine. I'm not
Same
saying it's
level?
much stronger,
How?
but at
Where?
least at that level, just basing on the dialogue from the movie, and that is even in the novel too. But
But we can't really take the dialogue from the movie as law because you know.
I mean, as I said, they put it in a doubtful way to make us talk about it. But if they made Goku said that in the first place, is a kind of intent of the author. So I don't really know how much we can discuss that.
Very interesting. Very interesting, DB.
Be-
Like you've got some
because
very interesting. Hmm.
if the author didn't want us to think that he wouldn't make Goku say that in the first place,
Right.
I
So
guess.
okay. So so in other words, the editor really does not think Goku is stronger than does not think the editor doesn't really think Beerus Broly is stronger than Beerus or on the same level, but they just said they made Goku say it so then we could discuss it and then be in this position right now to think what the hell is going on here because you think maybe I'm thinking no, but we're having this conversation to actually see if it's true.
I mean, Broly, for what we know, is at least stronger than present day Goku and Vegeta because of the novel and because of basically Toyotaro saying it. But Beerus, I can get if you say no, maybe he was stronger than Beerus from the Tournament of Power. Beerus got retconned, so now he's stronger. I mean, it's fine. I tend to just see it as stronger than Beerus generally because I don't really see any big retcon after the movie or anything.
I don't think I could see it that way because
I mean,
having
there's room for interpretation. Going about retcons and things for Beerus.
mm.
So I
But like I
believe
said,
that
this is
there's room for it.
but it's like this is the purpose, this is the exciting part about Ginyu talk because you know you see it, you see this a little bit differently, and I see this a little bit differently, but we're kind of having this conversation to find out, to kind of make sure we both understand each other's point, because it's a very interesting point. Because I,
Yes,
even regardless of how we both see it, like, it just it just doesn't make sense for me, in my eyes, for the training that Goku is doing with Whis and the training that Vegeta is doing with Beerus, to then have someone that's like, whether legendary form or not, to surpass Beerus. I can understand, yes, if you say at the end, um Broly is stronger than everyone, just not Beerus. I can understand that, yes, but stronger than Beerus could be a bit of a difficult one for me to accept. Was wait
yeah. I mean,
Was Jiren
that's
strong? Was Jiren stronger than his
controversial.
god of destruction?
Hmm?
Was Jiren stronger than his god of destruction?
Then he's God, yeah. I mean, it's
Okay.
said that he is, like, multiple times.
Hmm. I'll need to. Yeah, I may have missed that. But but then yeah, so he was stronger than his god of destruction, but Beerus is the strongest god of destruction of all of them.
Yeah. But then I really think that Gods of Destruction got retconned with Beerus during the Moro arc. So now Jiren is just so fucking weak in comparison to any God of Destruction, really.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Beerus got retconned, and I don't see why don't retcon even the other gods. I mean, they are a class. They should be retconned collectively or not retconned at all, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really make sense to have one god like 1,000 times stronger than another.
Sure. Yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah. It could be, but again, this is the many different stories and issues, or potential issues, that we have with Dragon Ball. It's, you do this, but then you do that, and then that retcons something else. Because if we're talking about retcons, and again, this is another one of these things with Ginyu, with, like, here at Ginyu Talk, is like, we tell each other, like, we're gonna have loads of topics to talk about, but then we'd end up talking about completely different topics that were not on the list.
It always
But
happens.
like, but then with the retcon, because yeah, because the most recent retcon that I can think of was my understanding, and I think this is probably your understanding as well. When you use the Potaro earrings, that fusion, for that Potaro fusion, was supposed to be permanent, the same way that Shin and Kabito became Shin Kabito, or if whatever
Yeah.
his name was, right? But in Super, when they were fighting Goku Black, they said there was now is it a 30-minute period, because Vegito Blue was like producing too much power for the
I
Potaro
mean,
fusion.
it's
Huh?
a bit like it's a bit different from that because it is retconned, let's say, for being time limited for mortals. And obviously, Kaioshin, when he gave the Potaros to Goku, he didn't know about this limit because he never seen any fusion between mortals. Because obviously, Potara are not meant for mortals to use.
Hmm.
He couldn't know that they had a limit for mortals.
So what? So are you saying? So do you think, before Goku and before let me see, was it, God, I have to remember this, before Vegeta was God, I'm so sorry, because I completely forgot this now. Was Vegito absorbed by Boo in the Boo saga?
Hmm. I
Like,
mean, yeah,
did
he still
yeah?
had a time limited. We just didn't know about it because no one obviously knew about it. So not even who gave the Potara to Goku could possibly know that.
Hmm. Okay, so then now the question now is if
So that's
that's
an acceptable retcon with this just contextualization. I mean, it's a
yeah.
step the time limit for the Potara.
Wait, because now this is where so because I have another question for you because
Go.
this is another part that doesn't make sense. If so, if that's the case, why is it that if and like again, this is kind of we have to take this information with some salt because it's not it's the law is not like used a lot, but let's just say for the discussion in GT
Mhm.
when Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta fused into Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta,
Mhm.
they were told that the time limit was supposed to be 30 minutes, right, for the fusion, but because their power
Yeah,
was too much, it ended up lasting about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So why is it that when Goku Blue and Vegeta Blue fused into Gogeta Blue, why is that time constraint is not the same while they're producing a lot more power
Where
than what it is
well,
when it is Super
the
Saiyan
point is,
Super Saiyan.
go on, finish the question.
Oh no, it's like it was just saying it's like when it's just that when Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan, normal Super Saiyan Goku and normal Super Saiyan Vegeta and normal Super Saiyan Gogeta, that lasts the full time limit. But Blue is obviously way more powerful than OG Super Saiyan. How is it that they still cap out to 30 minutes? They didn't even get to 20 minutes, 15 minutes, still full 30 minutes.
I mean, was it even ever said that the Blue Gogeta lasted half an hour? I
Well,
mean,
that's a fair argument. That's a fair point.
it's like cinematic time because they do a lot of things obviously on screen, but you have to factor in that they're at some unfathomable speeds at that point. So even in 5 minutes at that speed, you can do all that and more.
Yeah.
And we have never been told about how long Gogeta lasted in Dragon Ball Super, so it's fine.
Right. This is where it gets. This is again. These are the all little questions. These are the little nifty little questions that we just always need to ask because they don't get asked enough. These are questions that are not asked enough, and just obviously like as we kind of start to get to those kind of like final bits before we kind of just close off with everything, like in terms of in terms of with what we're seeing now with the emergence of um Beast Gohan, Orange Piccolo, like okay, we don't talk about Orange Piccolo enough, which it is what it is because people love Piccolo, we all love Piccolo, but in terms of most of this, it's always going to come down to like Goku, Vegeta, Broly, Gohan. Now, um, what do you see this? So with the new form of Beast and everything, what do you see the potential for Gohan is in the long term? Like power wise, where do you think, like now that he's got this beast form, where do you think he's gonna go, and where do you think he's ultimately going to rank in everything?
I mean, if he keeps up with his training, he can perfectly remain in the same tier as Goku for me. Because,
Mm,
well, we know he has the potential to be in that tier of power if he wants to, if he trains. So,
yeah, but okay. With another extra little bit is if let's just say, let's take out let's this is now like just we're talking as if this is just happening in the world There's no Toriyama, there's no Toyotaro, but everything still exists. Everything that is Dragon Ball still exists. Without without having the whole, hey, Goku's the main character, he shouldn't be beat, or Vegeta this and that. If they were all to train, do you think in a realistic world, do you think if they were all to do their training, Gohan could end up being stronger, could end up being stronger than Goku and Vegeta?
Well, if they train together, yes. I mean, the only time Gohan trained with Goku, he ended up surpassing him. So why not again?
Hmm.
That's
Interesting.
the fair point
That
again.
is, but 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 then when you think about it, it doesn't, like, I don't think the story even then would make sense for Goku and Gohan to train together, because obviously
Yeah, maybe.
Gohan's a super family man. He wants to be with Pan, he wants to be with Fidel, whereas Goku obviously wants to continuously train and be better
Yeah,
and surpass his limits.
but
So
it's a
are
different
we
character altogether. So
Yeah, yeah. Which obviously makes it more relatable, because I think listen, and I don't know if you know this, but like my favorite character in the whole of Dragon Ball is Gohan. I will
no,
forever, huh?
didn't know. Okay, now I know.
I'll forever love him. And I've said this to a couple of other guys on one of the other streams. I still think in my heart, I still think when Dragon Ball's finished altogether, Gohan's gonna finish being the strongest in the universe. That's my opinion. I think he's gonna somehow he's gonna finish the whole story as being the strongest in the universe. Will it happen? Maybe no. Do I think it might? As a
Well,
Gohan fan,
it's sure
yes.
unpredictable.
Huh?
It's unpredictable. I mean, no one
It is unpredictable.
would predict that ending.
No, I don't. Well, I don't. Well, as far as I know, no, I don't even think it'll be finished when my grandchildren come out.
I
It'll
hope it
still,
will.
yeah, it'll still. I'll still be like, "Ah, I remember that Goku when I was this, that." So, what? Who's your favorite character?
Piccolo. So yeah,
Love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. So, what, is there any specific reason why Piccolo's? Is there? Did he do
well,
something? Is there something about the character that you like?
I mean, really, it's because of a video game. Because when I first played Budokai Tenkaichi 2 when I was like a child, I had put everything, every equipment on Piccolo, and he was so fucking strong, and, and I got affectionated to him for that. Yeah,
Are
nice
you gonna be
person.
playing the new one? Like,
Hmm?
are you gonna play the new one when it comes out?
Yeah, yeah, I will. I'm
Excellent.
actually replaying Budokai Tenkaichi 2 just now in this period.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh man, those were such good games. So hopefully the new one captures the essence of what we liked
yeah,
about
I
the
hope so.
previous ones. So that's going to be really really interesting. Yeah, so obviously, like, because I remember, like, before we started streaming, I still have it in the background. There was a tier list that you kind of that you
Yeah,
did send me. What I'll do is I can put
uh,
it up on the screen, and then you can explain a little bit
yeah,
behind the thinking. So
yeah. I'll
let
start
me
from the most controversial point, being the low tiers, I guess.
sure. Let's put that in there. So yeah, so this is DB Scaling's list. This is G is not involved in this tier list. So if you're angry, you can be angry at DB, not me. So yeah, go on, DB. Please explain your
Well,
list a bit more.
the main fact is revolving around base Piccolo because we saw it in the manga during the Moro arc being stronger than 17, which at his time was as strong as Super Saiyan Blue from the Tournament of Power. So, starting with this Piccolo,
Yep.
we have Toyotaro just copy pasting the scaling from the movie, ignoring
Hmm.
that fact. And this is a problem because it literally makes all the Super Saiyans from superhero manga arc stronger than Super Saiyan Blue from the Tournament of Power, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
and it's a fucking mess because Toyotaro obviously doesn't know how to write a story, but well, we have it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
pretty
there.
much like that. So obviously, if base Piccolo is in that tier, it means that Goten and Trunks as a Super Saiyan are stronger than him because literally the Gammas were like mocking base Piccolo and said, "Well, Goten and Trunks aren't half bad." So
Yeah, yeah. So we're talking
that's a
about
fact.
base Piccolo that's in the B section.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
base Piccolo.
Yeah.
So basically, obviously, Gon is stronger than Goten and Trunks, and the Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta and Broly are stronger than Gon.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's based Broly because, like latest chapter Broly that was fighting with Vegeta.
Okay. And then now so how come so the question here is how come you have Frieza final form normal above no so you have above Goku and Vegeta Super Saiyan.
I mean, he trained 10 years, so if in 4 years he could get from Namek Saga Super Saiyan tiers to Super Saiyan God tier, I don't see why his present day base form shouldn't be at least Super Saiyan Blue tier.
Listen. So, but then when you but so how but then the question now is how does gold go above so is golden now hold on so is gold on the same level as gammas and
Well,
orange piccolo.
I actually think that no, Orange Piccolo not quite, but Gammas yes, as you can see.
Yeah.
Now I'm explaining this tier because this is Omen Goku, but not a perfect true Ultra Instinct Goku because he's in the tier above, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
That the Omen without emotions, so the weakest form of it, let's say.
Yeah.
And then we have Golden Frida, present day.
Mhm.
Obviously, all the pics are present days, even if not,
Yeah.
maybe they're not taken from present day Goku or Vegeta, but
Hmm.
just do not put in the tier list 8 Gokus and 8 Vegetas and just pick one, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, even in DBS Broly alone, Golden Frieza was stronger than a Super Saiyan Blue. So,
Hmm.
I can perfectly see him now being stronger than a Blue Evolution or than a first stage of Omen,
Yeah.
just basing on how strong is Black Frieza. I mean,
Interesting. This is very interesting stuff, and I really really look forward to like the day where we actually have like more of the other guys on the stream as well, because I think there's a lot of things that I'm sure like they would want to ask, because
mhm.
like there's some stuff that's really interesting. Like I'll need to, like I said, without your explanation I'll say you're crazy, but like you obviously your
Yeah, the
explanation
tier
gives
list
me
looks strange enough, I guess.
wow. Strange. I don't know. Like, it looks crazy. It looks very crazy. It looks very crazy. So like
You need the explanation to understand the things. Yeah, I mean, because no one would think Krillin is on the same tier of power of Black Goku, but like literally, Krillin did better than base Goten and Trunks in the manga.
Mhm.
So if Super Saiyan Goten and Trunks are like above Tournament of Power Super Saiyan Blue level, I can see their base being similar to Black Goku in power,
Interesting. This is
just
very
because of the
interesting.
power gap between.
And then what about in Z, where you've got you've got granola, beast, and is that MUI and gas?
Yeah, MUI.
Yeah.
I mean, granola. It's really when when he blasted the gas in the moment we talked about before, when Goku threw him away with the Avatar MUI. So it's
Yeah.
like a peak, but it's a moment. It's not always that strong. It would reasonably be like True Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego tier, stably. I mean,
Interesting. Like I said, I'm very, very intrigued. I am like so intrigued with just your thinking behind all of this, and like I said, I'm not the most super expert, but like there are guys and girls that are more skilled in understanding everything in the Dragon Ball lore than I am. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I'm okay. I think I'm okay, but I think there's a couple of people that they are really really into it, um in terms of like the understanding, that I think they would probably be able to tell you yes or no than I am. Because like I said, my limited understanding of the scaling would have me say nope, 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 nope. But I don't want to use my understanding, because you've obviously scaled this with more experience than me, so you have a deeper understanding of what
like
you're talking
obviously,
about.
because like the thing with this tier list is that is a lot like
Hmm.
stomach reaction if you see it just like that without explanation. You just don't think, you think with your belly, like we say in Italy. So you act impulsively and just say, no, it's bullshit. Because you don't understand the various choices I made and why I did.
Yeah. And interesting. But no, like I said, we're gonna have to get the others involved, because I think this would be an absolute good discussion to have, like a
Yeah.
round table, to have that experience, to see where we kind of see where we have. But then what about, okay, just the last one before we kind of just end, before we just end off the stream itself, is why you have Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta in the tier of above God of Destruction. Can you explain that one a little bit?
Because as I said, I just think Broly is at least as strong as Beerus. And literally Gogeta mopped the floor with him for half an hour or whatever. So
Hmm.
it's pretty objectively stronger than Beerus, at least if you think that Broly is in that tier of power.
Right. So wait. So, but then how come you have? So how come you're in this tier list that you have? How come you don't then have Broly above in this? You don't have Broly in the same list as Gogeta with Super Saiyan Blue.
I mean, because obviously they're not in the same tier. Like you can see that Broly is at best Beerus tier, maybe stronger than Beerus, but always in that ballpark of power. Like is not much tens of times stronger, so or anything. So it's
Hmm.
right to have them in different tiers because having them in the same tier would be just wrong for how the fact went.
Right. And then again, this is, like I said, this is interesting. Okay, so then how do we have, because in the previous conversations that we were having, how come we have Beerus, no, not Beerus, how come we have Jiren in S tier, but we have his God of Destruction in high end God of
Yeah,
Destruction,
be-
yet yeah.
yeah, because as I said to you before, I don't remember if we were already in streaming, but I just think every God of Destruction got retconned with Beerus. So
Hmm.
so basically, just because of Belmont doing well in the Akashin fight before the Tournament of Power, I just think
Yeah,
he's in the upper half of the gods of destruction in
of
terms of
Destruction,
power.
yeah. Fascinating, excellent. This is really really interesting stuff, and like I said, I really do look forward to, I look forward to a stream where we can get everyone else involved, because I think
Yeah,
there's a lot of interesting opinions that can be created from this. Because I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying you're wrong and I'm not saying you're right. I'm just saying I'm not experienced enough. Yes, I'm not experienced enough to fully understand the thinking behind the scaling that you've produced.
It's
So
fine.
the
Not everyone is a power scaler, so it's fine.
sure. No, I know. And I think this is kind of like, and this is kind of one of those things where it'll be so much fun to get the other guys and girls involved, because maybe they might produce some information that you might say, oh, I didn't think about that. Or maybe you're going to produce some information that they'll be like, you know what? DB scaling is actually right. Maybe that is actually true. And again, this is all the fun. This is the
Yeah,
fun about doing the ginew talk stuff. So we can come together and have these conversations, create these conversations to kind of, you know, to kind of have a better understanding in
yeah.
in the material that we love.
There's a lot more to say from my tier list, but like, maybe not
Like,
now.
no, no, no. Do you know what? Like I said, I want to. That's what I was like. I want to make sure that we can get the others involved.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
like maybe set up a bit of a bigger stream. Get everyone. Then we can properly go through the tier list, and then you can explain it, and then everybody will contribute their thinking behind it. Because I think this would be such a good discussion. Because as I said before we started streaming, is like when it comes to the scaling, everybody scales in a very different way. The way you've scaled is probably how someone else would scale it slightly different. So then that creates the discussion. In some parts of the community, it creates arguments. We're not trying to argue, because at the end of the day, what people forget is Dragon Ball's just a cartoon. But we
yeah,
love it. It's not important enough for us to argue and make each other these threats of we're going to do this to that person, or this is, and that's what we're not trying to do at Ginyu Talk. We're trying to, you've got an interesting perspective on a subject, and we're going to have people that are going to have different perspective about that. The idea is to come together, have those conversations, understand what we're seeing, and then just have a good time talking Dragon Ball. So, that
yeah.
is also like I look forward to actually bringing the the tier list with you on here with the others, to kind of get that information out and see how everybody feels and how everybody thinks. Maybe you change a few people's minds, maybe a few people change your mind, but at the end of the day, it's all a good time, and we all walk away with more
Yeah, absolutely.
knowledge. Yeah. So, I mean, with that said, I'd like to thank DB Scaling for coming onto the stream to
That's been a
kind
pleasure.
of give his perspective on the scaling, kind of educate me a little bit more on the scaling, but also kind of have an understanding of where he thinks Beast Gohan is going to stand up in regards to the other characters, and where he could potentially go. So, like, yeah, what I will do is I will put in the information for DB Scaling's page, so you
Thank
can
you.
follow his page as
The
well.
only
So you
problem, with my page is that my posts are in Italian, because obviously I'm Italian. So, well,
but
you
you
can
can
always
translate,
translate
because you
what
do
you
the
say.
text though. You do the text, so you can just click translate, and then you can,
Yeah,
like I've done it a
not
couple of times.
that big of a problem, but yeah,
No, no, no. Like, if you really want the information, you'll find it. Really, like I said. So
yeah,
I'll put that information. Yeah.
I can always discuss that. Just if you want anything, you have you have anything to ask, just text me.
Yes, of course, and I think that's just the same as well. Like, anyone that has any questions for DV scaling in terms of his scaling, just drop him a message on any of his posts, and I'm sure he'll be willing to answer you
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
any of the information.
I'll answer.
Yeah, perfect. So before we end off the stream, do you have any final words you want to say, DB?
Final words. Oh God, I don't really have anything ready to say. But if you want to ask me anything, I'm fine.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you guys. With that said, thank you guys for listening through, and we will see you guys in the next stream.
Bye.